you trying to get crazy with this scene? Don't you know I'm loco?
Shop is in Venice. So a little bit about me is I'm born and raised in Santa Monica. My mom lived in Venice. My dad lives in Santa Monica. I would visit my mom on the weekends. You know how that goes, split in custody. So that's how I knew dudes from both sides of the tracks, you know what I mean? But I'm always Santa Monica boy at heart, straight from Dogtown. And
what's happening, everybody? And this is Bobby Tribal, aka Bobby Ruiz, and once again, finally, it's time for that
Lower Left Podcast 2023. You see how there was a little delay there?
Yeah, that was good because you're still getting it together, huh?
Yeah, I'm still sleeping from New Year's.
Yeah. So we're back. We've been the holidays and traveling and just different projects, but we're back. So we've got a couple we got a couple ready to go right now. But how are your holidays, Johnny?
They were good. A lot of eating. All I did was eat, drink, sleep, repeat, do it again.
You got a new puppy?
Yeah, I got a new puppy.
It's a cow dog?
It's a cow dog. Chevy the cow dog. That's his IG. Well, we haven't made it yet, but we're going to do it. So
because it's a dog that looks like a cow?
It's a little white and black mutt border collie. We saved him from the Humane Society. Super sweet dog, just chills, sits there,
grateful.
Yeah, just
appreciative,
a lazy dog.
Yeah,
just somebody to sit there and like act like they love me.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's working. Yeah, how was yours? What's Santa bring you?
It was a hunting trip.
Oh, there you
that
go.
was kind of
Texas?
part of my deal. Yep. Nice. Part of my deal was don't get me anything, just don't trip. Yeah. I want to go hunting for 4 days. So out on the ranch, and then I still got some stuff though. They always. I wanted a really high quality cornhole game because I had one, but it was kind of shitty. But they got me a real nice one, like a Padres one with the SD logos, like super bomb. But nice. Just little things here and there. But
so when you go out hunting, are you gonna get the deer shit and smother it all over you so you can
the blood?
Oh yeah,
that's the blood. Yeah. But no, before that, I was in Japan and then came back.
Moon Eyes, right?
At Moon Eyes, and then damn, when was the last podcast that we did?
I think at Black Friday. Might have been.
Oh shit! Yeah. So since then, Moon Eyes in Japan. Our guest today was out there too. There was a bunch of us that went out to Moon Eyes and did handle some business and out there in Japan for about a week. I went with the homie Ames and Uncle Tone, Megs, myself. Milo was out there. Carlos from B-Side Players. Just the different homies. It was a good time. But anyways, we're back. Yeah. So, today's guest is a friend of mine, a homie, a OG. And he's gonna have to clarify because I'm pretty sure he's from Santa Monica, but he's got a lot of roots in Venice too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
he does,
sir.
Right? So he's that guy, and when you could do something like that, it's because you get love and people respect you in both those neighborhoods and shit like that. So, he's an artist, a musician, a tattooer, a tattoo shop owner, just an OG dude from and Santa Monica, I think.
Santa Monica,
yeah.
It's
Jason
Santa
Brown.
Monica. Don't get it twisted.
The
Yeah.
homie Jason Brown. What's happening?
Oh man, dude, it's
wait, car enthusiast too. I needed to add that to the list because I know you build rides too. So let's recap. So car enthusiast. You're in a band. You record music. You guys just released an album.
Yes, sir.
You're a world traveler. You travel. You own a tattoo shop. You're a tattooer, and I'm missing something. What did I say in the beginning?
Just an all-around artist, man. I mean, I guess all tattooers
and
are artists.
We got a lot of cool mutual homies too, mutual friends. I know that you know our boy Great friend of ours, Big Lucky
Of course.
from Santa Monica.
You know, it's funny you talked about that because the last podcast I did was a Hard Luck Show. And
Yeah, those are good guys. Those are.
Yeah.
I've done that one a couple times. When we
Yeah,
love those
man.
dudes. Shout out Chumahan too.
yeah, man, those
Old
guys are
Blue
fun,
Eyes.
dude. And that's right in my neighborhood where I grew up at. The high school, it was right a block away. So my stomping grounds, and to chop it up with Lucky, dude, is
How long did you know him?
fuck. I know Lucky, man, probably over 20 years, man, over
Yeah.
20 years, and we just had we'd always connected, you know, growing up because his main crime partner, Polly B.
Oh man, I knew
You
Polly.
know, yeah, you knew
Rest in
Polly,
peace,
so
yep.
he was my boy, and that's how I met Lucky. And you know, someone's always got a story about Polly.
Oh, I
B.
know. I got those.
Ah,
I got
fuck,
video
dude.
too. I got video. I got photos. But
Dude, I got some.
he was
Yeah.
he was a very charismatic dude, to say the least.
Yes.
Super cool. Very huge heart. If he liked you, he liked you.
Yeah,
And
they
he
broke
let
the
you
mold
know.
when that dude.
Yeah.
When that dude was
Definitely,
born, for sure.
Definitely, just a real solid dude. He's man, dude. Yeah, so many stories.
Yeah,
he was a crack up. He was a trip.
Yeah.
But just so for those that don't know, the Hard Luck Show, Chumahan, an American Indian, Big Lucky, a great friend of mine for the past 30 years. He was involved with Joker brand, Famous
Yeah.
Stars and
Yeah,
Strap.
man.
He did a lot of stuff. He's been
Now he's all on the cookies, man. The
he's got
cookies trip.
Supermax,
Supermax,
and
flowing. Yeah.
he's involved with cookies
Yeah.
and the what do you call it, the Hard Luck Show.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a solid dude. So what
Yeah.
so your shop's in
Shop is in Venice. So a little bit about me is I born and raised in Santa Monica. My mom lived in Venice. My dad lives in Santa Monica. I visit my mom on the weekends. You know how that goes, splitting custody. So that's how I knew dudes from both sides of the tracks. You know what I mean? But I'm always Santa Monica boy at heart, straight from Dogtown. And
So wait, Dogtown is Santa Monica or Venice?
Dogtown is Santa Monica. You know, a lot of people think because you see the Lords of Dogtown movie and then there's the documentary.
Yeah.
But Santa Monica is Dogtown. The borderline is Rose Avenue, which is kind of the border between Venice and Santa Monica. And, but all that stuff, yeah, Dogtown's in Santa Monica. That's where two of the founders lived. That's where the first Dogtown skate shop was. That's where the last Dogtown
So
skateboard
Jim was
shop.
there since the beginning, right?
Jim was there since the
Yeah.
beginning.
I've
you
been
know?
fortunate enough to do a couple collabs with Jim and Dogtown Skates.
Yes.
Real solid dude, man.
Solid, dude. I used to work there back in the 90s
Yeah.
when they had the AAA printing all the decks, you know, back in when Dressen was writing for him, Scott Oster, Aaron Murray.
Yeah.
Those kind of dudes. When they had the ramps down in Venice, we'd all skate the ramps. So, you know, it was everyone that was from Santa Monica and Venice that were into the skating and the whole punk rock and the cars thing. Everyone was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Everyone got along. You know, it wasn't like, you know, the essays banging on each other. It was a little different for us because everyone just got along, man. We all liked the same shit. And, you know, we traded different areas to skate or to surf. You know, there's different little crews and it all became, you know, good for me because when I was 18, my dad's like, you're on your fucking own. So at that time, Venice was cheap as fuck to live in, you know. Now it's like Santa Monica's expensive now, but Venice is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, needless to say, the shop is in Venice on Venice Boulevard, about 3 blocks west of Lincoln Boulevard, which would be the PCH kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And your shop's called
it's ST Tattoo Studio.
stands for
Suicidal Tendencies. Me and Mike Muir, the singer, we've been friends for 30 years plus, you know, and the way it came out is that back in the 90s, Mike used to have a skate shop called Streets of Venice, and it was right on Lincoln Boulevard in Venice, and it was this big 5-bedroom house, and the band lived upstairs. Suicidal Tendencies lived upstairs. The whole band fucking lived there. And then downstairs was skate shop where they sold Dogtown, you know, cassettes, when no fucking CDs back then, cassettes,
right.
records,
mixtapes.
Dogtown skates, Cahill surfboards, stuff like that. So after that, you know, they had closed that down, and I think it was back in the early 2000s, and Suicidal Tendencies had gone on a little hiatus, kind of broke up for a minute, and I started tattooing, I think, in 96. And it was around 98, and Mike's like, hey, man, we're going to get the band back together. We're going to start going out on tour. Do you want to come? You know, I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll go out, you know. And so we were doing van tours and shit.
What would you do when you would go on tour with
I would just like, at first I was just doing like bass teching, selling merchandise and shit. And then my tattoo career started picking up. So I would just bring my tattoo shit with me on the road, start tattooing fans, you know, and, you know, people that wanted to get tattooed, and some homies I know in Arizona, and people that I'd met all, you know, doing tours with Suicidal, coming back through town. And then, we had a chance to go to Europe, and I said, well, you know what, if we're going to do it out there, let me draw some flash up. Let's make a little booth, and let's do it at the venues, you know?
Yeah.
So here I am, dude, in fucking Paris in a hotel room, looking at the Eiffel Tower, tattooing these Suicidal fans after the show, and Mir's up there, you know, signing autographs on people, and I'm fucking tattooing them and shit. So it became an ongoing thing, and I would go out with them and do festivals. And then the shop that I was working at that time, LA Tattoo in Hollywood, with dudes like Baby Ray and Rick Clayton. You know, Rick Clayton's Legends, one of my favorite artists growing up, and he actually was one of my mentor, him and Baby Ray. And I had been working there for a couple years. It had been getting kind of hard on the owner and stuff. There are these Persian dudes, know nothing about tattooing. And I'm just like, man, I'm done with this whole Hollywood trip. And then Mike's like, hey, you know, why don't we open up something like Streets of Venice? You know, I said, well, let's open up a tattoo shop. I don't want to be like some memorabilia shop that does tattoos. You know what I mean? Because that's all there was in Hollywood. You know, a bunch of leather jackets and shit, and bongs and like tattooing bongs in the back. I mean, you do too. Yeah. Bongs. You know, break a few of them and shit all the time. But, you know, so I said, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. And, so 98, bro, we had Suicidal did an in-store, and we opened up, and we've been going ever since. Shit, that's 25 years ago, bro. No shit. 25 years this year, dude. So.
Wow. So I'm sure it's an iconic shop then, for sure.
Yeah. We've moved a couple times, you know, different locations, you know, kind of, you know, went through all the, you know, the rise and the fall of the economy, like 2008, and then, you know, the Twin Towers hit, you know what I mean? But it always stayed open somewhere, somehow, whether it was a small shop or a big shop. Our location now is probably going to be the last fucking time we move for sure. But, you know, it's like I wanted. It's, you know, got a lot of art on the walls, you know, can't compare the tribal fucking compound. That's for sure. But, you know, it's something that, it's local. It's back on Venice Boulevard, and you know, the people around us, the neighborhood has really brought us welcoming all the time. So yeah.
I think you have just your style. I think there's as far as art and style that has come out of that area, Santa Monica and Venice, because I noticed it back in the early 90s as well, mostly from the Suicidal stuff and the back of the Suicidal Tendency, so their albums, the covers, the flyers, the way that they dressed. And I'm like, this is a trip, because that was the middle of the whole punk rock thing. And there was, you know, you'd hear of all the punk rock bands, the Dead Kennedys and Fear and the Circle Jerks. Yeah. And then, you know, you had Suicidal, and it's like, whoa, hold on. These are like white cholo homeboy punk rock dudes that are for real. Yeah. Like, you could tell, like, these were real motherfuckers. They weren't just dudes out there trying to, like, you know, portray something. That this was their real deal, and they had real homeboys that used to come around and were part of their whole clique.
Yeah. Well, they didn't get banned from LA for 12 years for nothing, homie. Let me tell you that right now. But
what was that about?
Fuck, man.
Banned from doing shows?
Yeah, for 12 years they got banned. And, you know, it was...
I didn't know that.
Growing up in the punk rock scene, bro, you know, you had your... You know, I always say it if I get interviewed, you, because people can understand it, but you had your, you know, you had your English punk, your Oi punk, mohawk, braces, leather jackets, and then you had your American punk, you know, engineer boots, Levi's, flannel tied around your waist.
You had the Rockabilly Kids.
Yeah, Rockabilly Kids, and then you had your skas and your mods, and then you had your suicidal boys, suicidal punks, whatever you want to call it, and it was like people were like, "You're right, who the fuck are these dudes? They got mohawks on and wearing winos and with Pendletons and bandanas," because a lot of us grew up in the Chicano neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, and lowrided and rode motorcycles, but we were skaters, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of the white boys that grew up around Chicanos, they kind of, that's what they did, that's who they hang out with. They had no other option and stuff, and growing up in the neighborhood like that, and then bringing in this music, and then Suicidal in the 80s came out with their first album, and one of my homies, he's like, "You gotta check these dudes out." And I had sixth grade, bro, long hair, surfing every day, skating, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" You gotta check it out, along with a cassette of a bunch of English punk bands like Exploited, Discharge, Chaos UK, all these bands. I'm like, this shit's wild, man. I'm gonna check this out. And then here comes fucking Mike with the Dodge Maverick, bro, with the trailer on the back, handing out the first album. They were going on tour. And I'm like,
was that Welcome to Venice?
No, that was actually...
Which one was that?
That was the first album with all the shirts on it, just self-entitled.
Yeah, that was the one in the back. There was all the photos of all the homies with their jackets and shirts.
No, that was Welcome to Venice. That came out after Suicidal's first album.
Okay, so I remember Welcome to Venice.
So Welcome to Venice was a little bit of taste of bands like XL, Beowulf, Suicidal, a band called Los Psychos, which was a collaboration of a couple other dudes. And, Mike put that out, and he's like, "I want you guys to go into photo booths, take pictures." And the cover was done by a dude named Michael Seif, who was a badass artist, did a lot of stuff for Suicidal and Dogtown, did the old Stonefish design, that deck, skateboard deck. So, going to gigs with all your homies started, we started sticking out, and we started coming in numbers, and people, I'm not going to lie, people started getting hurt, dude. It was just like, what's up? And then at that time, there was already dudes from like San Fernando Valley, or there was dudes from Hollywood, like LA Death Squad, the Lads, or dudes named from FFF, Fight for Freedom. And then you had dudes like a BPO, Burbank Punk Organization, and all these dudes that were punks, but started clicking up because they saw us clicking up, and they're like, then everyone started not getting along. You know what I'm saying? So Suicidal Boys became the number one assholes, If you look in, I think it's 84 Flipside magazine, Suicidal Tendencies was voted the biggest assholes of 83, you know what I'm saying? But
he's all proud and shit.
Yeah. But that record put it on the map for that kind of music coming out of there, because you can tell when there's a band like my band, Cycotic Youth. We started a few years later, like I fucking was 14 when I started singing for Cycotic Youth, and it was me and my brother and a couple other homies, and that was 84, 85. And we played a couple times with Suicidal, but it was mostly backyard parties, kegers. Yeah. Everyone had their hand-drawn shirts. Rick Clayton was a big part of that. And that's where my artistic, came from, my interest,
That's kind of what I was saying, is like, there's definitely a style that you see in people like Rick Clayton and Baby Ray and yourself, and a lot of the graphics and stuff that you see. There's the skulls with the flipped up hats and the way the bandanas are, and just there's a look that is distinctively, you see it now, not everywhere, but you do see bits and pieces of it. But your work and a lot of the work that comes out of that area has a distinctive flavor and look to it. Like, you can tell that it's from that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure.
You know it when you see it too. You know what I mean? Like, you could see that where the influences are. And so, speaking of that, so who were you mentioned Baby Ray and Rick Clayton, but besides them, who were your artistic influences? Not just in the beginning, but up to now. Like, who were people that you're like,
dudes like, Jack Rudy, Mike Brown, rest his soul, Had a chance to work with him, you know, as far as like art goes, like the Piz, Robert Williams, all those dudes, Marcus Pacheco, Salvador Dali, shit like that I was into, you know.
Some lowbrow shit.
Yeah, lowbrow shit. And that's when I first started, you know, and I started drawing off skulls, man, on my books and shit. And then I would see Rick Clayton's work, and it took me a long time to master the flip skull with the hat on, you know, and it's often people try to do it like that, you know, but it's often imitated, you know what I mean? And it doesn't, there's just certain way that you look at it and, you know, like you said, that's a Rick Clayton drawing or Baby Ray drawing, you know what I'm saying? And I just started, you know, tattooing those a lot, and it just kind of started picking up motions. And I mean, I was just in Japan for 2 weeks, and that's all I did out there, you know? Yeah. And,
well, people want that genuine shit. They want that, you know, just even, you know, going out there with some of the artists that are from here at the shop, or way back in the early 90s, going out there with cartoon. They want that, like, and now, you know, people like yourself go out there. They want that original shit that's done by those dudes from that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want those Southern California artists. They want to be able to, you know, use your name or whatever name of the artist when they're showing their pieces to people, or just to get recognized themselves and for the artist. But I think it's definitely an honor for you to be able to do that. So you
definitely
got to Japan. Shout out Tanaka.
Tanaka in the house. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to OG Sushi.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Sushi.
Yeah. We ran into him, dude.
It was really nice.
When's the last time you seen him?
I'd seen Sushi. Fuck, dude. Maybe it wasn't hella long ago, because I did see him maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Maybe it wasn't that long, but I had seen him. Like, he pops up now and then when we're out in Japan. But Sushi's been coming around for a long time. Like, he's
OG.
He's got some of that old school cartoon stuff on his sleeves too. Like some real nice older cartoon work. But he's the homie. It's a trip going out there, because we have not just history, but people out there.
Yeah.
And it's super, super cool to go out there, and they come out when we go out, and you see.
Yeah. And they're nicest people, man. They're nicest people, and they're humble, and they like Tanaka, man. He puts in the work, you know what I mean? And you know, I tell him, hey, bro, you know, like, I'm going to pay you. Oh, no. I'm like, dude, you're getting paid. Dog. This is what you do. And the last time I went, man, I was probably the busiest I've ever been out there. And, you know,
you made it home just in time for what? Christmas?
Just for Christmas. Yeah. And I had to go home for like 3 days, and I had to catch a plane to Tennessee to go see my sister, man. And so I was pretty burnt. But the thing about, that whole flip skull, man, there's a little bit of history on the bandana. That's where it kind of sticks out. Because if you'll see the bandana, it has the X's, as this is tattooed on my face. Back in the days, the 90s and the 80s, those bandanas sold at every liquor store from San Diego to Northern California. That was the only bandana with those X's. And then obviously they went away, you know what I'm saying? But what people don't know is Mike Muir actually had to go to that company and buy that press to make that bandana.
Oh, shit.
So he's the only one that can make that X bandana.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
That's why you only see him making it. He makes the blue one and the black one, which makes it very rare. And then he's kind of, you know, tweaked it a little bit by putting Suicidal on the trim with all the filigree around it and stuff like that. But that bandana, yeah, man, you can't get that anywhere but from him.
So you get it on the Suicidal site?
Suicidal
site. Jim have them too on the Dogtown one?
Jim does, but they got some crossbones on it, and I think his is more like a silk screen, and then Mike it's more like a dye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like woven.
Sublimated or something.
So yeah, dye sublimation, where you, instead of it being on one side printed, it's on kind of the same on both sides. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it came from. So when you see that X bandana, you know, okay, these dudes are from here, unless somebody's copying it, but you can see the originality of it.
Yeah.
And that's where that came from. And that's what makes it so special to do those flip skulls for me, and what goes on the hat. You know what I'm saying? And I've done shit from neighborhoods to Suicidal ST or whatever you want on it. You know what I mean? But it really gives me a good feeling when, someone walks out with one of those because I put my stamp on it. And it's taken me a long time to be able to do the tattoos that I want to do instead of having to do something that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I was trained in all areas of tattooing. I can do anything. 85%, 90% clientele is black and gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite too.
That whole suicidal movement, it just, it was, it caught a lot of people's attention, I think, because of the crossover. And that's kind of, I was tripping out on in the beginning and just the way, because if anybody that knows anything about me or this podcast, like that's one thing that I've done as a kid and I've always loved doing was skateboarding. And it's just, I was just lowriders and same shit, lowriders and skateboarding and, music and just that whole vibe and how it came to be. So I had no idea that they couldn't do shows in LA for 12 years. 12 years. I can't really remember which gig it was, but, we're talking full fucking riot, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a couple over time. There was one in Huntington Park where, cops just came out beating people with billy clubs and Suicidal. I don't even think Suicidal played that night. Didn't get a chance to play. But, the whole thing of them getting banned is because every time they would play, someone would get fucked up. I think it might have been the Santa Monica Civic after they played there. Someone got stabbed or something. I can't really remember what it is, but because there's so many times when even Suicidal wasn't playing and you had a bunch of Suicidal boys going to Olympic Auditorium or the Cathay de Grand in Hollywood, you'd be running into some other clique. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And, and I'm sure, cats from out here in SD, I know a couple dudes from Oceanside Suicidal and SD Suicidal, and those dudes are down, so there's so many different cliques and neighborhoods of that, but you got all these dudes that are our age, bro, that just like, done, dude.
And Mike's still out there killing it.
Still killing it, going back and forth, running back and forth.
They're one of the only bands, I think, from that era, maybe probably a handful. Would you say like a handful of bands that are still out there selling out shows, touring, and still, doing their thing, right? Like,
yeah, man.
Circle Jerks went out this year, right?
Yeah, they went out this year, but see, the thing with different
Joey,
with
Joey?
Yeah, very well, dude.
Joey
That's my
Castillo,
boy.
Yeah, he's a good.
Yeah,
good
he's a
solid
monster,
dude.
He's a monster.
Yeah, for sure.
Can play the drums like crazy.
He did a little stint with Queens too, right?
Queens of the Stone Age. He played with Danzig. He plays with the Bronx.
I met him when he was with Danzig, but he was
Trash Talk.
I met him through Lucky too. I think
Lucky. They're tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran into him. Last time I ran into him was at LAX. He was coming back from a tour. I was coming back from somewhere, and I think he was out with Queens of the Stone Age. But
yeah, dude, he's a monster.
Castillo, shout out to him.
Yeah. He plays with.
He's out with Bronx right now, right?
Bronx, yeah. He was out with Circle Jerks, and he plays with Zach Sabbath, Zach Wild's project. But he is good friends with Polly too, man.
Yeah,
and
cool fucking dudes.
Cool dude, and Circle Jerks are doing a lot of stuff, but I think what happened is Suicidal always kept going. Like Circle Jerks and I see what like Black Flag with Vallely and shit. They kind of just came back, or kind of just you got the punk rock bowling and shit. You got punk rock in the park and all those. Punk rock's been coming back, dude. You know what I mean? It just depends on which level of you think which band is punk rock or not. You know what I'm saying? Blink 182 ain't punk rock. Let me tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pop punk or whatever, but original punk and that kind of stuff. A lot of those dudes are coming back, but Suicidal has always been doing it, and it always trips me out when I used to tour with Mike, because there were one day that dude ain't running back and forth, man. You
mean on stage?
On stage, like just the whole time. Him and Freddie from Madball. Those two dudes are like on it all the time for the whole show.
I think I talked to that dude once. He's part of the DMS, right?
DMS, yeah.
The Danny Diablo, Isaac.
Yeah, I love Isaac, dude.
Introduced me to that dude. I think I might have sent him out some stuff. I talked to him on the phone or something like that.
Yeah, cool dudes, cool cats, bro. All them GMS,
they hold it down
dudes.
for the East Coast for sure.
Yeah, and they got the West Coast thing going too, man.
Yeah,
my boy Junior.
Well, he lived out here for a while.
Yeah,
Isaac lived out here. He was living in Pico Union for a while.
Yeah, he actually lived in West LA for a minute with Paulie, dude. That house is goddamn, Holmes. I feel like Columbia on that motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, no, I could, I could imagine.
Yeah.
But, so your band, how did you get into that? And then you went on shows. You opened for Suicidal, and then I know you've recorded music. You guys just released an album. Tell us a little bit about your music.
Well, the band I'm playing with now is Cycotic Youth. It was one of my first punk rock bands. I started with my brother in 84, 85. Probably about.
How'd you come up with that name?
You know, when we first started
feeling that way.
Well, you know, when we first started, it was called Delinquent Society. That's what the band was called. And then we're like, it's all right and shit. We kept that for a little while, and then when we spell psycho, we spell it CYCO, not PSYCHO.
Like Michael.
Yeah.
Mike does that too, right? Psycho Michael.
Yeah, so we spell it CYCO. So we're like, let's change it to Cycotic Youth, but spell it like psycho. So that's how that became. And me and my brother, we started with a couple other cats. We did a couple of recordings in the early 80s. My brother went off to college in like 88. I kind of kept going. I was in a thrash metal band called Evil, EVOL. We had a couple deals on the table with Hollywood Records, and then actually was in another band, like a rap hip hop band called Strapped. We played with Head PE and those dudes down here at Hurricanes.
Yeah, shout out to them. Head PE went with us to the Philippines.
Yeah, man.
They're still out there doing it.
Yeah, dude. Head, those guys are fucking, crazy. Yeah. DJ Product. I love those dudes.
Real nice guys.
Yeah, real nice guys. Cool. And, so, fast forward about 7 years ago, one of our buddies was having some medical issues, and he's like, "Hey man, why don't Cycotic Youth do a reunion show?" Granted, the dudes that played, the guitar and bass player, the guitarist wasn't around. Dude was a lawyer, and he was busted for doing some weird ass shit. So he wasn't, lawyer? Yeah, dude. And for money laundering or some shit. And we found the original bass player. He hadn't played in a while, so we practiced a few times. We did the show at this place called Cafe Nell in Cypress Park. And man, these kids were going off. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, my brother hadn't played in a while, but I had continued, so I kind of knew the game for a while, And after that, bro, people just started hitting us up, asking us to play more gigs. So we got some real players in the band. We got some old dudes in the band. We kind of went through a big change up. Fast forward to now, my brother ended up quitting to move to Vegas. And I had wrote some new tunes, a full album with these other guys that had been in the band when my brother was in still, like the guitar player. So basically everyone in the band is new but me. So we went into the studio with Nick Jett from the LA hardcore band Terror at Shoot the Moon Studios, and we did this album called Psycho Up. And we did a video, and it was called Psycho Fight. And it's about skating. It's this is what you do. You fall down, you get back up. Let's get psycho-fied. And the video has a lot of unseen footage of Jay in it at the Vision contest at the Santa Monica Pier, him surfing in Malibu. Where'd you get that? We got it from Ray Flores. You know Ray Flores?
I've heard
He's
the
this
name.
OG Z-Boy, had one of the biggest skateboard collections on the West Side.
Still has it?
I think he does, dude. Like OG boards.
So he had old footage.
He's running Bronze Age now.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that brought back Bronze Age.
Did you see that documentary on?
Oh my god, that shit was crazy.
Mike Cassell.
Yeah.
Did you know Mike?
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
bro.
do you know Mike? Mike?
I did. Yeah.
What's left of Mike?
Yeah, what's left of Mike? I knew Donald a little bit more.
How's he doing? Because that was shot a long time ago.
That was
not a good look for him.
Yeah, I don't know where that dude's. I ain't heard about it or anything. I should actually ask somebody. I know someone that's connected with Donald, his brother. Let's see where he's at, dude. Because that was pretty freaking sad, dude.
Yeah, Mike, he was the one that started Von Dutch. He's the
Yeah,
first
man.
one that I remember brought out Von Dutch, and it was like he was doing some really cool denim. It was
Mm-hmm.
core. It had pinstriping. It was a dope brand when it first came out. It was
Yeah,
like
man.
we all paid attention to it because we're like, this dude's on some like hot rod denim pinstriping, you know, cool vibe. And Mike was cool. I mean, for the most
Yeah,
part, I know
dude.
he had his run-ins with some of the homies and shit, but you know, he was in the mix, and you know,
Yeah.
he knew everybody, and we all knew him. But that it's called. Oh, it's the Von Dutch documentary, right?
Yeah, it's The Curse of Von Dutch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was that on Hulu or something?
Yeah, you got to check it out, people.
Yeah,
if you
it's
haven't
a
seen
trip.
it, it'll tell you the story on it, and it's just crazy, man. And
But shout out to him, you know.
Yeah.
He was definitely in the mix, and one of those dudes, and we both, I'm sure, hope he's doing a lot better.
no, definitely, man, because he was the innovator of that, bro, and it came straight out of the West Side over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Bronze Age was kicking up dust before Von Dutch, and you know,
Definitely. So
yeah,
the dudes that I work with in Japan, shout out Satoshi Furuya, CCC, before they brought us out, which was 94, they had taken Bronze Age, some of the Bronze Age homies out there.
yeah,
George Wilson, you know.
Yeah, I know
right?
George, yeah.
Love George.
yeah, man.
George
He's
is
a good
shit.
dude too, man.
Oh
with the
my
fashion,
God, they
huh?
don't come better than George Wilson.
Yeah,
bro.
he's a cool dude.
OG dude from Venice too. I think he's Venice, right?
Yeah, he's a Venice
Yeah.
cat skater
And
from
then
the
he
OG
was-
Z
he was,
Boys,
Z Rollers, right?
Z Rollers, man.
Yeah,
You know what Z Rollers are? Yeah.
yeah,
Remember those trucks?
yeah.
You
The
guys
one with
don't know.
Yeah, the rolling center.
Yeah, it was a skateboard truck, but instead of it had a roller, so it would just roll when you grinded. It would just roll.
The center of the truck rolled.
It had like a piston, like
Yeah.
a rolling
It was-
pin
it was-
Yeah.
inside of
Yeah.
it. And you would fly, dude,
No,
right?
George is. George worked with us for a while too.
Oh,
doing,
cool.
Doing denim, and I had met George through Risky
Yeah.
from Third Rail. And
Yeah.
a great friend of mine.
Third
also.
rail, fuck, dog.
Yeah, and Risky's still killing it.
Yeah.
But that's fuck. Where the fuck was I? We went all the way to Mike Cassell. To
No, so I
fucking
was telling you
Bronze
about the
Age,
band. So yeah,
Oh,
where
yeah.
the fuck were we? Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways.
we just get caught up because
Yeah.
I think it's that thing where we've known so many people and been in some of these same circles, and it's
all
really
connected
it's
to each
fun
other.
for me to like.
Or it could be the
just-
PCP
just
back
see-
in the day.
Does it
just-
look like
to-
Columbia?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the J Boy thing. You know what? Like,
Oh yeah, it was the band we were talking about, the J Boy video.
Just Jay in general, man. Like I was telling you before that we turned on the mics. Like the last maybe 3-4 years before he passed, we became really good friends.
Solid dude.
And when he was sober, and we'd have some super heavy discussions. He would come down and hang out with me, and I'd go up to his pad and hang out with him, and you know, we'd spend time at the Hurley compound, and he would come to the building and you know, just kick it. And he was sober and he was Christian, and we'd go out to lunch, and just he loved, you know, the whole lowrider thing, and Chicano culture and skateboarding, and you know, the whole look and the aesthetic. We actually did a short documentary with Jay Adams. If you go to Vimeo, I need to find it and put it on.
Oh, that'd be dope. Did he have the El Camino then? The Elko?
No, he had his van. We shot it here in San Diego. Willie T did it. And if you go and you look for Tribal Jay Adams,
Okay.
it'll pop up. But really cool interviews, and he said some like just amazing shit. And he was really put together in his head when we did that documentary. His head was clear. He had a lot of really cool things to say. So if you haven't seen that little documentary on Jay Adams, you should check that out. And I'll send it to you.
Okay,
like,
cool.
I'll find the link and I'll send it over to you.
Please. Yeah, the thing about Jay is there's people, he, when he died, dude, there was a lot of, people saying good stuff and talking shit, and, the LGBTQ community was talking shit because, went to prison. Apparently, they said that he had, had something to do with, murdering a gay guy, but it was a long time ago and this and that. And all the shit that people, Jay was my boy. And it's just like, dude, no, he wasn't. He wasn't your boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, the thing about with Jay is when I was young, and he wasn't that much older than me. I'm 53. I think Jay would have been close to the 60s now, right?
Yep.
And I used to follow them
Exactly.
around. Tony Alva, all them dudes skating around. Skateboarding went out, dude, and roller hockey was in. And I remember playing roller hockey with them dudes. And they always put the fat white kid in the goal, home, so they could shoot pucks at him and shit, you know? And I remember them dudes just letting us hang out, bro, letting us cruise around, skating ramps with them. And when I talked to his widow, Tracy, you know, she's like, everyone's talking shit. And I go, look at Tracy, you got to think of it like this. At least, you know, Jay passed away sober, Christian, and happily married.
Doing what he loved.
Doing what he loved.
It was the first time that he had crossed the border. He had just gotten permission to leave the country. And he was super excited. He was going to go to Mexico on the surfing trip. He kept talking about it. And that's when it happened. So he was, from what I understand, he was either in the water, or just got out of the water. But he was doing what he loved. It was something he was looking forward to doing. And, you know, everybody has their theories. And
do you know, bro, that the Mexican authorities found out who he was by all that shit on, you know, social media, like at the movie, and they were fucking straight up they were trying to extort money from the family to get his body back over here, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
From Tracy?
They were trying to, Tracy and whoever left of his family were trying to bring his body back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they found out who he was and they wanted more money. They told her one price and then they kept, you know. And I was like, that's another freaking story, bro. It's another podcast thing, but you know, but he was a great guy, bro. Going back to that.
Yeah, you know, and he really was, dude. Not just because of who his fame and all that, but he was, you know, those last, you know, couple years, 3-4 years, he had a lot to say. He had a lot to share. He had a lot to teach people. He was, like I said, his spirituality was he was peaking. Yeah. And he was, taking care of himself, and he was feeling really good, man. Like I did a couple shoots with him, just around the shop and just at his pad and just doing different shit. And he had a C10 too. He had I believe his was a 61, and we used to, you know, fuck around with the trucks and do a lot of cool shit. But, we definitely connected. Like it was super cool, man. Yeah,
he had definitely found that, you know, that higher power of whatever, you know, he wanted. And he was just, you know, he was very humble, dude, towards the end there. And
he changed skateboarding. He innovated, changed it, not just the way he skated, I think, but by the way he was. By he was probably, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and please do, because you were there and I wasn't, but that whole style where he brought the homeboy style to skateboarding. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he would dress, because he used to hang around with the homeboys from the neighborhood, from what I understand. Yeah. In Venice. And you know, he would, since he hung around with them, obviously he was influenced by them and the way that they dressed. And he dug that shit, and he dug it all the way to the end. But, he was that kid that brought it, maybe part of that crossover, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, there was dudes like him and baby Paul Cullen, you know, and, not so much Tony Alva. Kind of Tony Alva went his way and Peralta went his way, but dudes like Jim Muir and Mike and those dudes kind of kept it, you know, that had that little edge of that little gangster cars, you know, skateboarding, surfing, punk rock, you know, a lot of dudes like I noticed myself, bro, when, growing up surfing every day and skating, when I started getting into punk rock, you know, a lot of shit, drugs started coming involved, smoking weed and doing all that stuff, a little bit of less surfing, more punk rock shows and stuff like that. And, you know, it just kind of fueled the way for us younger guys going back there, because Jay never wanted the fame. You know what I mean? People wanted Jay to have the fame. You know, people trying to, come on, you can do this, you can do that, bro. You can make a lot of money, you know. And then kind of after the movie and everything cleared off and he tried to do that, and he was getting fucked over. You know what I'm saying? Still. And this is exactly why back in those days, he never wanted to do that shit. Because even now, after all that, you know what I mean? It's just not, that dude didn't make
He
a
was
bunch of
doing
money off that movie.
That brand
you know?
at the end, he was into his brand that was 100% skateboarder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was kind of into, doing his own thing. And
Yeah, him and Jesse Martinez, yeah.
And he spent a lot of time at Hurley with Stesic and the crew at Hurley. They were showing him a lot of love and support and stuff too during that time. So let's talk about your cars. So I know you're into custom cars too and building rides. Was that just something you got into as a kid?
You know, I did,
It was
bro.
in the neighborhood and you just kind of...
Yeah, you know, just coming across it as a young kid, obviously not having a lot of money to build a car. You know, went through the whole bug VWs, you know, plateauing, doing that and having a couple bugs there. And then kind of, you know, my first, I think, real... I call it a lowrider because it had wires on it. Was a 69 Ford El Torino, canary yellow, and it had fucking flip down light covers, man. And I bought it from some old lady for $500.
Wait, there was the El Torino and then there was the Gran Torino, right?
Yeah, the Gran Torino. Yeah,
Right?
I haven't heard of the El Torino.
No, it was it the Grand? It was it
had to be a Gran.
Gran Torino, not El. Did I say El Torino? That's a fucking
And
movie.
that's the one they made the movie out of.
It almost looked like
Right?
a Skylark. You know what I'm saying?
The rear end was kind of like I know what you're talking about.
So I had that thing, bro, and it was original and all that shit. And
A 70 something.
It was a 69.
Oh shit!
A 69, dude. And was it a 69? Yeah, 69. And I bought it from some old lady, dude. It was canary yellow, and I just remembered doing dumb shit in that, going, "This fucking thing's canary yellow, dude. They're gonna know who it is," you know what I mean? And you know, and started picking up from there. And then I started working. Before I started tattooing, I was working for Harley Davidson down there in Marina Del Rey, dude. So I started, you know, getting into bikes.
What were you doing there?
I was working as a mechanic, you know, in the service department, doing small minor stuff. My brother was a mechanic, and he had went to school and stuff. And then, you know, started building a couple bikes. And then, dude, after that, I came across this, a 63 Biscayne, and I had that for a while, man. And it was a clean car, you know. And I'm like, damn, dude. Every time you get something, man, you keep it for a while. You want something else. Then I wasn't able to afford another car.
Yeah.
But I know I could fix this one up, sell it for a little bit, and give me another one, you know.
Yeah.
So I did that. I sold the Biscayne, and then I came across a 54 Ford custom line. And that's when I started tattooing around there. So Baby Ray kind of helped me out with it. You know, Frenchton taillights, 54 Chevy grill, you know, 23 teeth, 54 Chevy, 23 of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. And then it just, you know, kind of, after I sold the 54, it was probably around Twin Towers, and Twin Towers went down. I kind of started getting back into bikes again. You know what I mean? The cars, and I went back to bikes, and then got in the accident, dude. And obviously that was 2018. And but I was always looking for a 40s car. I wanted a big fender killer. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of do.
You know what I mean? And I would look at dude from down here, Mike Bello, right?
Yeah.
And I look at his cars.
He's
I'm
a
like,
beast.
this fucking dude's car. Like, I even called him. I'm like, dude, can you build me one? You know what I mean? And he never got back to me, but but I have been looking for a 40s car for a couple of years. And then I came across the 41 that I got now. This guy named Brian Moore out of Palmdale built it, and he didn't want to sell it. And I kept telling my buddy, hey, let me get that dude's number. You know, I want to get the car. You don't want to sell. You don't want to sell it. Well, then COVID hit, and he was building a house in Arizona, and he needed money for the lumber because the lumber was so expensive out here.
Oh, shit.
So the 41 was for sale.
Yeah.
So I went out there, dude. I mean, literally, man, I could eat off this thing, bro. And I wanted it done, dude. You know, QA Mustang front end, 4-link, fucking 350 small block, Cougar seats, you know, bagged,
Nice.
everything, you know, $200 trans. It was done. and had that for a while, and then I got that itch, bro. I got to get something I need to work on. I don't need it done, but I need it halfway done. Like we were talking, 30K, something like there, you know, 20, 30K, right?
To start.
So I found that 57 Apache, and it was chopped.
It was already chopped?
It was already chopped.
How much of a chop is it?
It was like probably like a 4-inch chop, dude. And it already had radius hood. It had 58 Bel Air Frenched in taillights. It was bagged already. Had a 350 small block in it.
You said an Apache?
Apache.
So are those beds fiberglass?
This one's metal.
But don't they make them with fiberglass beds?
I think they do.
Do they, Johnny?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Those are badass, though.
Yeah, dude.
Because they're like fleet line, like not fleet side. Fleet side where they're like almost like a car. Like they're just.
Yeah.
This is a step side, though.
Oh, okay.
The step side. And the reason why I say it was Apache, because I never knew what the fucking car was. And I was like, dude, it didn't look like an Apache. You know what I mean? Because it just had some custom work, minor custom work to it. You know what I mean? It was a copper color. Dude put some time into it. Yeah. But it was a custom from 2016. And dude just never finished it. Had been sitting during COVID on a driveway like this. So the bag was all blown out. It was all... Anyways, dude had it on eBay, and I saw it, and I'm like, dude, I want that 60 caddy grill in it. Had some
custom work.
Yeah, some trick shit done to it. Dude was a car builder, dude named Grim out of Covina. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, man, he had it on eBay, and I go, hey, check this out, dude. Take that thing off. I'm going to come look at it. I'll give you cash. Yeah, up there for like 30 or something like that, dude. And I ended up walking away for 25, and thing ran great. Everything was good. And then I'm like, dude, start getting into a little more of it. Start replacing the bags. Oh, why don't we just do tubular suspension? Oh, dude, I want a little more horsepower. We start doing the top end.
Yeah. While you're in there, right?
Yeah.
So now, whole thing's apart, waiting to go to paint. All new top end, all new tubular suspension. And it had an 11-gallon gas tank in it, dude. I can't even go to Ventura with that shit. And it was like
11 gallons.
Yeah, it was like what happened was somebody stole the gas tank, so he had like a little aircraft thing in there. So I put a 23-gallon fuel cell in it. Dude, everything. And I got Kyle Gann over there at K Daddy OG up in Palmdale, Bakersfield. Is going to paint it. I ran into him at the Pink Hotel, the Genocide Party. Cool dude.
You went to that. That was in San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, that place is rad, dude.
Yeah. That looked really cool.
Dude, it's rad.
That was the one they did at that motel?
Yeah, I think it was hot as fuck, but the thing about it, dude, it's got a fucking pool. People are skating.
Dude, this summer was fucking hot, bro. Even when we did Street Legacy, that shit was hot. And I was telling somebody the other day, they're talking about, doing something again, and I'm like, not this year, but who knows, maybe for our 35th anniversary, but I sure as shit ain't going to do it in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
35 years?
That's right.
35 years.
35 years of tribal. Not this year. Next year.
Wow.
So,
you got to do something, dog.
Huh?
You got to do something.
Oh, no, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not doing more than something.
Yeah.
I'm doing a couple something.
Close the street.
Handful is something.
Yeah,
We're going to do some shit. But what I'm saying is I think it is doing closing down the bridge or this whole block too. Like not the one on the top, but the bridge, both bridges, and trying to take this U. But there's some shit that we're trying to do. But it was hot, bro. Like even at that show, I'm like, if it was cooler, I think it would have been cooler. You had the inside. It was cooler. Yeah, inside was nice and AC, and people, the beer gardens were cool.
Yeah.
But out where the car show was, shit was hot, bro.
Yeah, and also, dude, I want to thank you, Bobby, for inviting me to that thing, bro. You're always the Legacy Show. This is my second time doing it, man. And it's like, man, I always enjoy doing it, brother. And to be up against some of those artists, bro, like not against them, but with them, as a whole, like I
think it was important that you were a part of that show.
I appreciate that, bro.
No, you're welcome, and thank you because you represent that part of Southern California and the culture, and just you are like us, the same shit. We're all into the same shit. Like
I agree.
Everything that you just said. We're talking about skateboarding. You're talking about car culture. You're talking about, music, the whole music scene, tattoos. that's who we are.
Yeah.
And whenever I do interviews or podcasts or I speak on tribal or myself, I'm real quick to tell I'm not the only motherfucker like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is who I am, but it's also, there's a lot of people just like me, you know, that grew up around the same shit. But, you know, we represent not just here locally, but a lot of us, including yourself, we represent globally.
Yeah.
Who we are from this part of the country, from this part of the world. And I know that sounds heavy, but it's true.
It's the truth.
It's true. You know, Johnny he's been out to Japan with us a couple times, and
it's amazing seeing what we see as normal everyday life, just who we are, is like growing up everywhere else.
Yeah, man. And it's just like, you know, it's just so different, the culture over there, dude, and how the people are, and what you know, going back for the third time, bro, it's like I know what to expect and I look forward to it. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, damn, I got to go home to this shit. You know what I mean?
But it's a blessing, Holmes, because like, we have our people in these different countries. And then besides that, we've got, like, you know, you've been to the Philippines too. So, but not just have your people, but we get to experience these different countries, these different cultures, all this different shit because of the things that we enjoyed growing up, or the things that put us in this position was things that we were passionate about. You know what I mean? Like shit that we loved or love and continue to, you know, have in our lives. So it's super, super rad. But I guess going back to what you were saying, it was important for you to be in that show and to be a part of what, you know, what that show was about, because that was, I don't want to get too much into Street Legacy right now, but it was just for me. And I tell people this too. It was a statement. You know, I think it was time. It was time, not just to do this show, but it was time for me personally to make a statement, to flex a little bit, and for to let motherfuckers know that we're, you know, not just who I am, but who Tribal is, but trying to do it in a classy way. And and it was very a huge blessing to get the support from everybody, and that every single person that we asked to be in the show said yes. You know, like that was fuck, dude. It was insane. Yeah, it was insane.
The roster was amazing, and I was
I don't think it could have been any better.
Yes,
you know, but
I agree.
I do think what I'd like to do, and I'll let a little bit out, is if we do it again, it's going to be international. So this one was strictly, you know, Southern California. I did have a couple homies sneak in that spend a lot of time down here with us and are part of Tribal, an integral part of a solid part of Tribal, like the homie Wheat. Who, you know,
I love that dude.
You know, beloved. From up north, but he's the homie. So, you know, but besides that, it was all of us from down here and around town. So, but that's that. But
it's a big family. You know, I met Huey down up at Dudutan, you know, and we switched numbers.
What'd you think of the Philippines,
dude?
And Dudutan.
Yeah, man, it was. The convention was. It's nothing like a LA convention. I mean,
nothing like nothing.
It's just crazy, bro. I'm like, you got any sharps containers around here? You got any supplies? What the fuck? You know what I mean? I was like, it was a trip. You know, it was like mass production, mass everything. You know what I mean? And they're like, it's like, okay. Because my Nemo was giving me the input. He's like, all right, you know, you just don't got a lot of money, bro, but, you know, they just want to either just talk to you or get an autograph or whatever. It's going to be like a PR thing. I said, dude, I'm all good. If I tattoo, I do. I just want to go for experience because, you know, he knew I was struggling, bro, with my accident. And he's like, bro, you want to go to the Philippines? I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know. And he's like, bro, don't you got to worry about nothing, dude. I'm like, dude, just get your ticket. He's all, I'll get your ticket. You just pay for everything else when you're there. I said, just do it. You know, we're going to go tattoo out there. Tribal's going to be there and this and that. It was an experience, bro. I think it was more like for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had heard that, you know, like POD and Head PE had been over there previous years before. We had talked to Ricky. We had sat down with Ricky about getting Suicidal over there.
Yeah, rest in peace.
That dude is cool as fuck.
Yeah, we don't even.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, Ricky Santana. And I go, this fucking could be dope. You know, it's got everything there. You know, it was just
some cars.
You know, some cars. It was just a little bit on the tattoo side of town. I'm like, okay, you know, this dude's over here doing this fucking half sleeve for $100. I'm like, I don't know what it's
$100
about. So
$100 goes a long
Yeah,
ways out
exactly.
there. But what I think is we're starting to discover, and a lot of people are starting to discover, there's some amazing tattooers out there that don't get the recognition because they don't get the publicity.
Yeah.
But if you watch you pay attention to the tattoo contest and you look at the quality that they're doing out there, some of it's insane.
Yeah. So that goes back to where I can't compete with this dude. This dude's doing badass shit for $100. So I mean, I wasn't there to make money, bro. I was there just to enjoy myself. So I thought it was cool, man.
Yeah, it's
I thought
a good
it was
time.
fucking cool, dude.
And it's a really, really rad cultural experience.
Yeah, and you run into a bunch of people, dude. And I ran into Hewitt, and we exchanged numbers. He stayed at my pad. And,
Oh shit!
He came to stay with me for a few days. Not the last.
Did you see the piece he did down there in Venice?
Yeah. The one on the wall.
The Dogtown
piece?
piece?
The Dogtown one, yeah. He actually did a piece above my old shop. He was starting one. We started it, and we had the cherry picker, bro, and it was on the slant, so it wouldn't get close enough to the wall. So he's like hanging off. I'm like, homie, don't even fucking hurt yourself, bro, So he goes, like, next time I come back and shit.
Yeah, he'll be back pretty soon, man. I think he was talking about it'll be pretty soon within the next couple months.
Well, we moved from that spot. This is like before COVID, dog.
Yeah.
After that time,
If
but
you
he
have
stayed
a wall
with
at
me.
the shop, I'm sure he'd love to.
No, for sure,
hit
dude.
it.
I told him, call me, you come stay with
He's
me, bro.
a beast,
yeah,
bro.
I took him around, introduced him to people and shit. And his tattoos are fucking off the hook too,
Oh yeah,
man.
but he thinks he's not good enough.
That's what I
because
told
he's
him.
got this crazy French. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm like, dude, you're better already than fucking 85-90% of the tattooers out there, and you think you're not ready?
Yeah.
Like what's wrong with you, dog?
Yeah.
But he's starting to, I think, get some confidence and do some more shit. But he's a beast, dude. Just all around, like digital, spray paint, tattoos, just graphic design, and he does like 3-dimensional stuff. He's a beast,
he's
bro.
super talented, bro.
Yeah.
And I like hanging out with the dude, man. Picking his brain about spray paint.
Is there anybody you want to shout out, or anything that you want to say before we close this out?
Yeah, man. I just want to shout out to all the ST family, all the guys at the shop. Got some talented kids over there, bro. Chris Garcia, Johnny G, Frankie LA, Homeboy Rooster, and man. Say God bless the family, bro, because that's what's solid. I thank you, Bobby, for having me. Johnny, right?
Yeah.
Johnny, and actually, we are playing a gig too, Cycotic Youth, March 31st at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood.
Oh shit, nice.
Go check that out. It'll be 25 years for ST. I'll let you guys know. We're going to try to do an art show and maybe get Suicidal to play a little closed party or something.
Yeah.
Try to do it big,
Dope.
I don't know if I can do it bigger than Tribal, but I'll
stop it. Come on, man. Yeah, you can. You guys bring that in Suicidal shit. Hell yeah, you can.
We'll close the street down with the cops, right?
If they let them, if they let them do a gig, I'm sure they could do it bigger.
Yeah, Sponto from Born and Raised is like, just let them play on the roof. The cops will come. It'll be killer footage for IG. I'm like, hell no, bro. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man. Thanks to the public, man, for
And your music is available. Where?
Yeah,
where
Cycotic Youth. The album's called Psycho Up. It's available on all download platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff, and YouTube. And yeah, man, come check it out at Cycotic Youth Official is the IG, and at Jason Brown Tattooer.
And your
shop is at ST Tattoo Studio.
And if you're in the area, if you're ever in Venice, check out the studio. I know you've got a lot of international people coming through. Cyconic thing, and thank you for coming down today.
No, thank you. I'm blessed to be here, man.
I really enjoyed, dude, this is like, because, we run in the same circles, a lot of the same friends.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this for a while, yeah.
And I appreciate you coming down. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bobby.
And yeah, man, it's a blessing. Johnny?
It's always a pleasure. I learned so much because Bobby knows a shitload of people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that I could just sit in this chair and hear
stop.
the story. And especially the dudes from Venice, Santa Monica, like Stesic and yourself.
Yeah.
And
we had Stesic on.
Dude's amazing. Anything that dude does touches
Genius.
gold, bro.
Fucking
goes
genius.
to gold.
He doesn't lose any memory at all. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a fortress in there. Everything's all input, and he remembers everything. He even remembers me from like 2014.
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, he remembers everybody he shoots. Everybody, you know.
He remembers Johnny by his Packard.
By my car.
He's got a 36 Packard
Oh,
rag.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, right?
Dude, on fucking hydraulics.
Nice.
He'll three-wheel it if that shit. I've seen him trying to get it up on three wheels a couple.
Well, I hop
just
it.
yeah,
I hop
yeah,
it
he,
a little.
he's a fucking nut.
Yeah, I just
psycho.
want to say too, Bobby, like I was telling you before, man, talking to some OG graffiti writers, and I told him I was coming down there, like, dude, Tribal has always kept it real. Never changed it up, you know, changed up designs and stuff, but, you know, always kept that culture real. Like, never tried to go in another direction because somebody else was. That's why I like Tribal. First time I came here, bro, Suicidal was playing at Soma. Was it Soma?
Which Soma?
The warehouse was right next door.
Fuck, dude, we were so blessed to have our warehouse there. Are
Dude,
you kidding
and
me?
we came in there and he gave us a bunch of shit, bunch of clothes and shit.
Damn,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Everybody came through that shop.
Yeah.
And that was, for us, it was huge because Tribal was right next door to Soma.
Yeah.
And all these up and coming bands at the time knew we were there.
Yeah.
And the word would get out, oh, you're on tour. There's this little clothing brand called Tribal, and they're right there. And, you know, the buses would park right in our lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody would come through. Like you said, Suicidal,
Yeah.
Green Day, Korn, Limp Bizkit, everybody who was doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, Cypress, everybody played Soma.
Yeah.
And we were right there.
That
you
was
know,
the
and
spot.
it was just, it got out that we were there. And it was really good for the brand. And I think at that time, you know, like I tell people that these bands didn't have a lot of choices of real cool, rooted shit to wear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not real shit. Real shit.
So
Yeah.
it worked, you know, it worked for us. And wow, that was early. That was 90s.
Yeah, bro. And finding out from you guys from Nemo.
Yeah.
OG Nemo,
Yeah.
dude. You know, that's my boy, dude.
Yeah.
We'll visit
Right
his
on.
ass
Shout out
now.
Nemo, man.
Shout out to Nemo
Yeah.
and DeVille Tattoo.
Yeah.
Definitely in
that's
the
right.
house.
That's right. Well,
Right on. Well, thank you so
no,
much. I
thank you,
appreciate
brother.
it, brother.
Much love. You take care of yourself.
Okay, bro. You too.
And Johnny, we'll record another couple one pretty soon. We're gonna stay on it. We've got some in the books. Johnny's got a beard. Look, it's
I'm
like
trying to be a man.
and it's naturally that color, huh?
Yeah.
Good for
It
you.
looks
dog.
dyed, huh?
No, it looks nice and dark.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
cover all the grays that came in. No offense. No offense.
The way to cover the grays is just put product in your hair.
There you go. Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna close
Ain't
this
no
out.
helping Bobby's beard though.
I just cut it, dude. It was like out of control. I was like, you know what? I better.
Had the hunting beard on.
Yep, I had the hunter beard on, and I decided I better kick back a little bit. But
Oh yeah.
yep, we're out. Fuck.
Yeah, you don't remember.
I don't
the outro,
remember, dude.
huh?
Yeah, but
me neither.
anyways, Lord Left Podcast, 17th and Island, San Diego, California. My man Johnny Be Good, Jason Brown, Tribal Click, the lower left. You already know. We out.